I hit the button. Welcome, everybody, to Dan-A-Plooza. My guest at this time is from the pinup world. She's a pinup girl. Yes, I'm doing puns. Virtual round of applause for Poppy Rouge, who is the atomic red hot pinup girl. And we're very glad to have her. We're going to do a little bit different. So I'm going to throw a little curveball for all of those who are used to this. Poppy was asking me questions beforehand, so I'm going to answer them, and then we're going to do the plug segment, and then we'll go to some questions for Poppy. So Poppy asked, was I a singer? I can carry a tune. I first started out when I was a little boy, and I sang in a talent show. I sang Akuna Matata when I was 10 years old.
Oh my goodness!
And I did all the characters, and so and I was nervous. I did the classic hold the microphone, walk in a line, do my character, walk in a line, turn, sing, as the nerves and do that. But as I told people, what made that a fun performance was it didn't matter the quality of singing because you can talk as the characters in the voices. And I had played with voices when I was a very young little sprout. And so, I would do the different voices, and I would just go and I loved Simba and Timon and Pumbaa, and I would actually do gestures the more comfortable I did it. I would be like, when Pumbaa's like, but I hurt downwind, and I would just play that part, and it's just playing and having fun. As I got older, I saw the Donny Osmond Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. I don't know if you've ever seen that show. I saw it on video because it did not go when I was asked because I was a teenager and I wasn't that into that at the time. But I've seen it on video. My mom has watched it multiple times. I think it's wear and tear. And the CD probably has scratch marks from here to the end of time. But so with that musical, because I heard it in the car ride over and over and over, when I went to audition, I knew half the chorus already because I've heard it in my brain. Right. And so with that one, I played one of the Ishmaelites and one of the Egyptian guards. And I had a mop wig that was like down to here, so sometimes you couldn't see.
Interesting.
I wore lipstick. I don't know why they made us wear the lipstick, but it was interesting because I learned how to put on lipstick because I was not good at it. I would always go in the girls first and be like, "Do you have brown or copper?" And like
90s, the brown lipstick.
Yeah. So that way your lips didn't stick out. And like my one buddy, he didn't look at the color and he had like hot pink, and I was like, well, that'll make a statement.
It would, yeah.
Because I thought we should have all neutral because we're wearing brown and yellow, and then he's got a baby blue suit and pink lipstick.
Interesting, pink lipstick, I'm like this. Baby blue, yeah, nice color scheme. Got it.
Yes. Yeah. So, but with doing that, I learned comedy because my mop would get swapped and I would move. And the next show I did was Wizard of Oz. And I was so off key. Like I could hear myself somewhere. And I'm like, and so I would just pantomime like I was singing because I did not know the vocal quality yet. Because when I saw people like turn and look, I go, "Oh, that's me."
Oh, yeah! You didn't recognize your own voice.
I did not, because I had not
Interesting. That's interesting.
sung. I had not sung like a lot, and that's like it's a hard song, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, because
Yes.
it's the inflection, it's
Yeah.
somewhere over the rainbow.
It's a very hard song.
you
Yes.
know and so then I was like, just to keep it going.
Hey, it's all performance, right?
Oh
Like,
yeah, yeah. But I did that, and then I did a show called Runaways. And Runaways was stories about kids who escaped their problems through bad homes. And uh, my character, he played basketball, and he had a basketball song.
oh,
And so, and then I had backup singers for my basketball song.
oh, wow. Okay, so you were the lead, and then there were
Yeah, I
backups.
was the lead for this
Nice, nice.
number, but once again, it was more of a talky kind of song, so it didn't matter, and so I had a basketball, and I would pretend to dribble because I didn't want to dribble on the stage, microphones,
Okay, yes.
and just, and I remember like some of the words. It's actually written. I think Elizabeth Swatows wrote it, and it has been performed on stages before and everything. And um, it says, "Here in my hands, I hold a planet. When my mom and dad is mad at me, I play basketball. Come on, you all sing." And then my backup dancers would be shoop, shoop, shooby doo up, shoop.
Like, you walk a little bit. Oh, that's fun. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I would tell people that you have the planets and the stars, meaning you have endless possibilities when you're free to run away.
That's very
So,
hopeful, right? There's a
yeah.
hopeful, yeah.
His name was Easy. Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And so then I did that. And then let me see. Wizard of Oz. And then I did Shakespeare. I did The Tempest.
Very,
And
yeah.
we had this mast, and we had to make it pretend like it was a shipwreck. So we would
Yeah.
move forward and roll back and move and sway from side to side. uh, and then I was in, I believe it's called A Dollhouse. And it was based like very kind of like the Victorian kind of era and
Yes.
everything. And
Mhm.
I was a delivery man, and I would be like, "Here's your tree, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. That'll be whatever amounts in pence it is." So it was kind of
Fun.
that.
Yeah.
And then I did Hair, the musical, and I don't know if you're familiar with that one. And so for that one, I had to play multiple characters. Um, and uh, because of me being Native American, they kind of made like I had a long ponytail, I had moccasins on and everything like that. And I had to sing in the microphone with my partner. And beforehand, we had fake stage cigarettes, and I had to smoke them and then
Okay.
sing in the microphone. I had never smoked before, so that was
Um,
like hard, because like I really inhaled, because there was no bad stuff, it was just for prop and for show.
like herbal or something? Yeah. Like
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
No.
But then because I inhaled all the stuff,
Uh-huh.
you can't sit, so I'd be like, because all the
Yeah.
smoke
Yeah.
came out of my lungs.
Yeah.
Somebody like showed me eventually, but
Yeah, I was gonna ask, did you eventually like practice, like get somebody
yes,
to
and
show
I
you how to
did. And
smoke a
the
cigarette?
hard part was there was solos for each one of us, because each guy had a girl as a couple, and we were couples. And I was like the fourth one, so we had to like do the solos to start the song. So I can't, because the next person can't go after me, so.
Yes, yes.
And but yeah, we did that. And I had to have a German accent, pretending to be German teacher and jumping out like I was in the army and everything. And then I was John Wilkes Booth in this flashback and everything. And
that's a cool part. I mean, yeah.
And my line was bang. The line was bang.
Nice. Yeah.
And then
yeah.
I'll fast forward. I did many other shows. I did Fiddler on the Roof in Ohio. I did summer theater for a company called Weathervane Playhouse, and we sang and did a radio spot, and there was like 50, 60 people in the cast. So around a microphone. So the kids and the adults, and we're singing tradition, tradition, and we're singing the opening song for Tevye and everything. And so I would make my voice go up a little more so you could hear a little bit of me on the radio spot on purpose.
Yeah.
You'd hear tradition, and they'd be like, "There's Dan."
Hey, you gotta stand out.
1 second, a bite, and people would just laugh and everything.
It's really cool. It's like old time kind of like radio show, like those old.
Oh yeah, and then I heard it on the radio, and people would giggle, at the radio.
It's fun.
But I built the scenery for that show, and I was in that show.
Multi-talented, you are.
But I was one of the many who built sceneries. We also did Children of Eden, Arsenic and Old Lace, Once Upon a Mattress. So I was hired as summer stock to build. I just happened to audition and get in Fiddler. So
that's really cool. Yeah.
Yep. So there's that. I'll just wrap up stuff because I know we got some other stuff. I don't want to only promote myself.
We could. I could interview you.
Yeah. There's already people for the Dan-A-Plooza 200 episode that are looking forward to asking me that.
Yeah.
So then I went to Kentucky. I lived in a little town called Horse Cave, Kentucky, 6 months. And I built the props for the show. And then after I built the props, I was also in a show as well. I was an elf for their Christmas show. Aww. And then I was for an elf for the Christmas party. And some of the kids were scared. Because I had a full mountain beard.
Oh, okay.
Some of them were like,
hey, it's okay to scare your kids.
But one little girl thought that I was the biggest elf at the workshop for Santa and that I got the toys off the shelf.
That's really cute.
She's like, he's the big guy. He's in charge of everybody because he's tall.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So that was really cute. But it's better than the other comments because the other kids are like, you have more facial hair than my dad.
I mean, that's not a bad thing. Like, it's just like...
And I'm like, okay.
Right, sounds good. Yeah.
So my costume was Holly shirt that was long sleeve, red suspenders,
fun,
black shorts that would hike up, red Chuck Taylor shoes, Converse with bells on them,
sweet,
a bell hat, and green and black tights.
Nice. I feel like you could pull that off in everyday wear.
And I would bring the scooter around while dressed as that. So I would bring this elderly scooter around and I would have cigarettes in my mouth and I would drive this scooter around and I would go in circles and I would pretend to run over people. And
that's great.
When I was in the show, I would pretend because I had to move the trees. I had to move the props because the actors had to dress up 20 different characters. So I would do physical comedy to stall as they're getting changed. Mm-hmm. And so one time the actor made fun of my character and people got mad. And he was not expecting that, because usually it was laughter, but people got mad. Well, I forget, whatever. I don't know if he called my character stupid or something like that, and they're like, don't call him that. He's trying, and like the people got
like they were advocating for you.
Yes,
like,
yes.
Yes. That's nice. Yeah.
They're like, he has issues, and like I would pretend to like smoke and drink, and like,
he has issues.
It's all acting, but for the 4 people back there. And then when we're backstage, he's like, "Good job, Dan." I go, "Those are my peeps."
Very nice. You had people on your side.
They couldn't believe that I did that, and some people loved it. And like I would take the tree, and I would pretend the tree would fall on me, and like I would make like like this gesture, or I would pretend that I couldn't walk straight, and I would take the tiniest tree and I would miss it, and just fall over, or I'd be like, "Is it here, and I would play with the audience, and just do that stuff. But I always ripped my tights every show.
I mean, well, tights are tricky. Like, yeah, you're always gonna rip them. Like,
well, I had to do all this prop stuff, and I had to fall in between like the hood of this car and do all this comical stuff, and they just
clear nail polish. It's an old like dancer trick, like the clear nail.
Oh, they tried, and then
yeah, I'm sure they did. Yeah, it doesn't matter most of the time. Eventually, yeah.
So, and I was the prop master for that, and I had to buy props for A Christmas Story, which is a very prop heavy show, and I bought like sliced bread. I remember, because they didn't like the hunks, and like it would go to waste. They wouldn't eat like that.
Yeah.
So I would buy that, and someone forgot, because I just left it and I would just move in that. Well, somebody had put it on stage for the show, and so it said Walmart $1 like during practice, and the director called me out. I go, "Look, if the Cratchits shopped, they would shop at Walmart, and they would have a Walmart card, because they would save money for Tiny Tim and everybody."
Go, yes.
But, and then I came back, and then I did Murder Mystery Theater. So
that is interesting. Did you ever get to play the murder?
No, I'd always die, but then I got cake,
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
So I got to sing Hungry Eyes. That was the thing. And so it was one of my characters. He was an inventor. Yeah. And he would say, "I feel the magic between you and I." And so my character would run the other character would run the other way as I would sing that, and I'd be like, I feel it," and she'd be like, "Long gone."
Oh, it's a great song.
And so with that, and then I played a detective in the other one, and I would be trying to crack the case, and I did not make the case very far,
I think, yes.
But in the first one, I was an inventor, and I'd be like, "Well, let me tell you something. I got a nice, very, very, very nice deal for you. Let me show you what I got, and everything else. Here's the briefcase. Here's everything. Let me tell you what I need to invest in today." One of those really fast talkers.
Yeah, like the Micro Machines. I think of those commercials.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So I did that, and then I started doing film, and the first film I did was a zombie film, and then I did a horror film, and I played a very evil, demented chef. And what I found out was playing with the camera was a strength, because people, sometimes when you're doing that, you're reserved, but he encouraged the improv. So, I would do certain movements, like I would do look in the, and I would do certain things to play with that, So I did that. It's called No Knock List. I know it's been on Amazon before, and But yeah, I play the evil chef, and I have like charcoal under my eyes, and there's like bad food, and it's like I'm just evil, just pushing that cart around, and so
I want to see this movie and the zombie one. Yeah.
And then the last one I did was based on a real life story where a cop was abused growing up, and I played the leader of a biker gang. And the thing with the biker gang is there were actual bikers in the bar. And if you know, sometimes bikers don't like bikers who pose, like and so like but I just played it cool. I don't talk to them unless they talk to me. And my uncle was a motorcycle, so I know enough to just play along if it comes to that. But so this one guy asked me, and like he's like, are you one of them real bikers, or are you one of them acting? And like I could tell because the shirt looks like from Goodwill, and like everything. And I go, who's asking, and everything, So I asked him, and I go, no, I'm here for the film. I can tell you are. Just
to be straight. Yeah.
We don't have to play the game, we
Yes.
So in that film, nobody had ever acted before for this scene except myself. I was the only person. So they were all like afraid to speak, and I'm like, I'd do it.
Like that's a really neat position to be in. Yeah.
I'm like, I'll do it. I've done it before. They're like, okay, so this is what you need to do. So so there I am, and I'm like the shortest too, and like they didn't tell the customers that it was fake, so some people thought that's really my cat sitting back there, And so the whole fight scene breaks out because I'm yelling at the waitress, like, give us our beer, blah, 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 blah. And so the cop comes in, pent up frustration, aggression, and starts wanting to punch me. But he didn't punch me one time. He punched me several times, So it's like selling multiple punches because he's just wailing on me. And I had to tell my friend, he's like, why did you lay down there? I go, if you get punched 7 times, you just don't go, that's nothing, you sell it. And so that was like a challenge to do that, because I was, every time he hit me, and every time
react, right?
And then the whole fight broke out, and I just remember this one guy threw this pail, like this little beer pitcher, and it didn't go the way it was supposed to. It was supposed to be like, and it went ding, 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 across the table. So it made it not look tough. So we had to retake it. I'm like, throw it like this. wait, that plastic before I throw it. So then they the whole fight breaks out, and people are taking pictures because they think it's real.
Yes.
Like, people think I'm an asshole of this game. And so I get arrested by the police, who are acting as police officers in the movie.
Okay, I see. Yes. Yeah.
And so like they have me handcuffed, and so people are coming in. I go, welcome to so-and-so restaurant tonight. I recommend trying the prime rib, as people are walking in. And then they went to arrest me, but then they couldn't get the cop door to open for the squad car to put me in. So then I'm stalling on purpose for them to open the door. So like I'm kicking my legs and waddling and trying to put my feet up.
Like to make it look,
I had a girlfriend in that scene, and then when I got in the car, I went to very twang mode. And I'm so glad they didn't keep that in there, because it was so twangy.
I was naturally went into twang, or you just went into...
I just went into that accent. I don't know why, and it's probably good, but I was like, wait till I get out of here, and it was so very Southern drawl, and I was just like, this is not good. But I did that, and then the prison scene, what he actually does is the cop, he finds God in Jesus, and then he gives eulogies and he talks to the prisoners in the prison ward. So he comes around full circle, and it's based on like an actual true story.
It's interesting. Yeah.
So, and Dean Cain was in it, Superman.
Oh, I know who Dean Cain is. Yeah, super. That's very cool.
Yeah, so
really, yeah.
it's really interesting. He's like, "Why did you beat up that guy?" And I was like, "You tell him, Dean." I was just being obnoxious, Gene. So, but let's go ahead and get to some the plug segment, and let's get to some questions. Let's not only talk about me. So, for those watching and future watching, this is Poppy Rouge. She is the Atomic Red Hot Pinup Girl. Make sure to check out the Atomic Pinup Girls Facebook page, Instagram page. Check it weekly. Also, right now, I'm going to blow up this graphic and I'm going to read about the photo contest that they're having right now. So give me one moment.
Oh, no problem.
All right. So right now, the Atomic Red Hots are having a pinup contest. They are having first the Picture Perfect Doll contest, and that is from September 3rd through the 9th.
Mm-hmm.
The next week is Gears and Gals, which is September 10th through 16th. And then it's Fall in Love. I don't know if that's actually song or melody. That's my own spin, but that's the following week, and that's September 17th through the 23rd. And then it's hike. It's fantasy football. You know, I almost feel like saying, Sunday, vote for your favorite pinup on Sunday. But it's fantasy football, September 24th through the 30th. And what you have to do, this is very important, you actually have to go to the Facebook group, the Atomic Red Hots, and click the like on the original Facebook picture. I shared in Dan-A-Plooza, but that doesn't really count. That's for awareness. So you got to go ahead and do that. Kudos if anybody picks the Bears for fantasy football, because that's my team. So. But so that is the plug segment.
And there's an October Halloween pinup contest online that's coming up too.
Oh, yes. Yeah. So make sure to pay attention to that as well. So we are going to just ask very few questions for Miss Poppy Rouge. Do you like being called Miss Poppy or just Poppy Rouge?
I think it does not matter to me yet. I'm still pretty new to this stuff, so yeah.
Did not know if there was a formality, in these things.
Not to me. I don't know. Yeah, not to me. I'll keep you posted. Yeah, I'll let you know if I change my mind on that.
Oh, okay. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah. So I want to know what you like most about pinup there, Poppy.
Yeah, so I feel like it's such a good question, and it's so multi-layered. Like for me, at least, like it's the answer is very multi-layered.
Oh yeah.
So I'm sure it is for most people, if anything. But so I'm very new to the pinup scene and pinup, like actually participating in some pinup events. So new to that, but definitely not new to pinup and vintage fashion. I've collected since I was, I've collected vintage clothing and accessories since I was a teenager, or even really. So and have considered like throughout the years, like in my youth, in my younger days, considered joining groups, and then always kind of like fear got the best of me, and I feel like some of what comes with age is just like maybe the fear doesn't go away, just like I don't know, just shifts, you don't care as much. So anyway, multi-layered question. So like on a very surface level, I love playing dress up. I've always loved to play dress up. It's super fun to to kind of put on a persona, to put on fun clothes, fun dress. So that's like the surface answer to that question. Always love to play dress up, right? And it gives me a chance to wear some of the clothes that I've amassed over the years. But it also is like an opportunity for me to kind of like tap into an alter ego that I don't get to really let come out and play in my like day life very much. So so kind of tapping into maybe like a more theatrical part of me, a little bit more like even comedic to some degree. And so like letting that part of me kind of come out and play a little, and a playful side. So because I think pinup is like it's very playful, even in its traditional sort of roots. There's a playful side to it, and and then there's of course like another layer to that. I feel like modern pinup is really like trying. I feel like really cool things are happening with like challenging stereotypes about like beauty. And it's like an act of feminism for me too. So it's like empowering, a lot of like body positivity, and and I feel like it's like a medium that's subversive in its own kind of way, and right. So it's like it's fun. Like it's not just fun. I also feel like it's a way of kind of like taking control of sort of something that was traditionally, you think of pinup models like traditionally in the originals, it's like they were very like objects of the male gaze or and modern is sort of like the interpretation of kind of taking that back and and really and challenging like age stereotypes. It doesn't so that's like a lot of what I like about it, and it's also like a really welcoming, nice community I'm finding. So
well, that was really well answered there,
Poppy. Well, thank you. But the answer is still evolving, I think, too. I feel like
Is there a dream photo shoot for you?
Oh goodness, can I use a time machine in this? So it's gonna be probably a cliche answer to that question, but like I've always loved Marilyn Monroe. So if I could just go back in time, I just think she was just really interesting, cool person. And if I could go back in time and just like even just be a fly on the wall in one of any of her photo shoots, and then take it a little step further and maybe like have tea with her and talk about, hey, can you give me some tips on posing and also like philosophies on life? Because I feel like she was a really funny, not only beautiful, but like funny, smart, poetic, interesting person. So as were, all the women, all the people. So
definitely. Well, diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Oh gosh, don't give me so. I could sing that song from front to back badly. Yes.
Well, is there anything else you want to say on Dan-A-Plooza as we wrap things up?
Do you have any other questions for me? Because
do you was there anything that inspired you, like classic pinups? Did they inspire you, like Betty Page or anybody?
Yeah, I mean Betty Page, of course. Even like I grew up watching a lot of like black and white and like old TV shows. So even like Ginger on Gilligan's Island, I think of her, and I know she was kind of like a caricature of like of what a pinup model or not glamour sort of that. But like Marilyn Monroe, of course. But all of them are amazing. There's so many. There are too many to count or even name. I think so.
All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for Dan-A-Plooza this evening. Everyone, take care.